Hello and welcome to my custom Ben 10 series. This is going to be episode 1 of a series walking you guys through the process for each of the Ben 10 aliens. Starting with the original series, I was going to say each of the aliens that I like, but I like them all, and we're going to be starting with Diamondhead. I post a lot of these things on Instagram, that's where I started with the customs, but I said I might as well walk through the entire process on YouTube. Somebody can follow along or emulate it, or even just get ideas from it. I find other people's customs, just watching how they do it, I might not copy, but elements of what they do and how they understand things and approach things helps a lot for me. So yeah, I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing with Diamondhead. I'm using this Space Venom Marvel Legends as a base. In the back here we have forearms and Ghost Freak. So he's a pretty big dude. Maybe an important thing to note about all of these Ben 10 customs is that I'm not going for the one-to-one accuracy. This series was heavily inspired by Crafty Gecko. He makes incredible Ben 10 customs, as well as Dino Plastic, another YouTube channel. I'll link to both down below. These guys make incredible, nearly, I would say, exact one-to-one replicas, just on 1/12 scale. But for me, and with all the customs I make, I'm going to be doing an Invincible series as well. I'm not overly interested in the one-to-one. I just want to make them. Maybe I'll put my own twist on them, you could say, or my own style, because I find it quite frustrating when I'm trying to make customs one-to-one, because I don't know if I have the skills yet to replicate those things, especially within the limitations of figures like Marvel Legends. So this is actually going to be my first YouTube video, I think, run through Diamondhead. So some of the things I'm going to have to do is obviously the color. First and foremost, he's pretty much half white. I'm gonna go mostly with the original series look. You have white, half Omnitrix. You're gonna have long arms. I'm going to do interchangeable hands. I'm going to use magnets to change kind of the Gatling gun hands he has. Maybe I'll give him a spike hand, and I'll give him maybe open or fist hands. I'll decide later on. I'm going to give him shoulder pads that don't excessively restrict the articulation, but we'll see how that goes. And he has back spikes, and then this head works really well already, the shape for Diamondhead, but we'll see as we go. I'm going to have to sand it down a little bit, edit it quite a bit, but for the most part, and some spike in the back foot, for the most part, it fits very well. So let's get to it. First and foremost, for every custom is to prep all of the joints to avoid paint rub. Biggest thing to avoid paint rub, we can thin our paints, we can prime it. The biggest thing is to make some clearance at the joints so the paint isn't scraping off the plastic. It's the number one thing, and I would create as much clearance as possible using sanding paper, using a Dremel. I can record more clips of this, I just removed it because I thought it was a little bit boring. Next, we are moving on to extending the arms. So choose a point at which you're going to separate the arms, and then you drill into the arm. So from here, you're going to try to drill holes that match and align in the other half of the arm, because we're going to connect these and we want them to be mostly aligned. It can be pretty difficult when you don't align them. It takes a little bit of practice, but it's okay, don't worry about it, just go for it. Using cocktail sticks here is what we call them, nice and thin, they match the size of the Dremel. Checking the length here, the hand is supposed to start around the end of the femur, so it's looking good. Did both arms, and then I just super glued them in place. I'm going to cut these, all my hard work, and then I'm going to cut them and use little magnets to make them detachable. So I'm just messily adding the glue here, just to give some structure, so that I can saw the hands piece off, and then I can make some interchangeable parts, probably using aluminium foil or tin foil for those of you in the EU. So the reason we're using hot glue is kind of twofold. It's much cheaper than clay, so if you have hot glue stick lying around, you can fill these gaps. But the other thing is clay is heavy when it dries, or just full stop, because there's so much of it. So there's going to be a lot on these arms anyway to make that diamond shape. As we can see here, I then use tin foil, also so much lighter than clay. So I'm just going to clay over this hot glue here, but now it's so much lighter so it doesn't weigh the arm down when it's extended. The magnets, make sure they're aligned in terms of polarity so they're not pushing each other apart. When you make them, you can fiddle around with this, use marker to mark them so you know which one you're using. The shoulder pads, very tricky. This is one of the things that I took the most amount of time to figure out. I just made them with card. I drew them over and over again until I found the right shape and used some tape to stick them together.
Here is the figure with the clay on the arms. Very, very happy with this. Took some figuring out, but it's a pretty simple shape when you get the hang of it. You just have to kind of pinch the clay on the sides in order to make that sharp edge, and I kind of have to clean it up after with some sanding paper, etc.
Okay, so I have now sculpted over the shoulder pad, and it is attached with a magnet. I'm going to reinforce it with a little bit of hot glue to keep it light. Focus. Here we go. Okay, here's what we're working with now. So I have this arm to a point that I'm happy with it. I have sanded it down to get it to a shape that I like. I still think when I paint it, these hot glue parts are going to come through. But anyway, we'll give it a go. Need to make some alternate hands still. I have made this shoulder pad. It is detachable by magnet, which allows for a little bit of give up top when moving the arm. I sanded over the chest because I had to take a fair bit off to get rid of the sculpt that was there at the time. So this just brought it back to normal. I still have to sand over it, but looking ready to go. One thing I loved about the Space Venom sculpt was the similarity in the head sculpts. Obviously I need to add the kind of point on the back. I need to take some off the chin, but for the most part, we're nearly there. But let me work on this.
I found this to be great practice for the sculpting of a head because it was just geometric shapes. I basically just had to add the jaw and the sharp point at the back, which I used a toothpick super glued in as scaffolding and then just went with it. It was pretty easy, filled in the eyes as well. Here's the other arm made, magnets attached. These magnets, I got a pack of 50 on Amazon, super cheap. They got different sizes, different strengths. Here I'm just showing you that I added a piece of card between the two when I was using the hot glue to attach them to the shoulder pads. I didn't stick together. As for the back spikes, again using a light scaffolding so it doesn't tip them backwards, and also just be super hard to make clay upright in that position. So I drilled little holes and then hot glued some toothpicks out of the back of them in the shape that I wanted. All clay gets sanded as well because when I'm working on it with my fingers it leaves it kind of bumpy and humpy, so a bit of sand paper after. This was a funny experience. I thought I was a genius. For the Gatling gun hands, I'll just smash up some biros, some pens, some big pens with my hands and it'll be perfect, good to go. I think I got one clean break, as you'll see here. Yeah, so I had to take it outside with a hammer, put it in a towel and smash it up, and it gave me the exact look I was looking for, but I just thought I was going to be a little bit stronger, I guess, but I don't think it was a matter of strength, but you can give it a go. Just be careful, wrap it in a towel. This gave me the exact look that I wanted. Just put a bit of clay on top of tin foil and stick them all in.
Okay, this is everything ready for priming. Finally, it's been a long process. I think this has taken longer than I expected it to because I've been working on my dissertation, but soon the aliens will be a faster process. But super happy with how everything is so far. Looking at the original Diamondhead toy, I'm going to go off this paint scheme. So essentially the body is going to be half white as seen here. I'll deal with the Omnitrix after. So the back and front is going to be half white. So I'm going to spray everything with a white primer. Going to just conceal half of this so it doesn't get sprayed white. Everything else will be sprayed white and then painted this nice teal color, or as close as I can get. Pretty much everything. So I'm just going to cover up the magnets and things like this at the ends of the attachment points, etc. Going to cover up the magnets on the shoulders. Going to cover up the pegs so they're not too thick to stick back in.
And here we are, all primed up, ready to go. Just use masking tape to cover up the parts I didn't want sprayed. Specifically the joints, that's probably the biggest thing. You don't want them getting thicker when you're trying to put it back together. Here's the paints that I used, a combination of everything. This was the lifesaver though, this random teal turquoise color. It was a thin paint mix that I needed probably 3 to 4 good layers on. Thin layers, but 3 to 4. And then it kind of gave me this lovely color that you're gonna see here on our finished Diamondhead. Wow, absolutely delighted with how this came out. This video I'm posting a little bit later than the reveal I posted on Instagram, but everybody seemed to like it on Instagram too. I am overjoyed with how this guy came out. From the eyes to the teal color, which was quite a tumultuous experience trying to make. I had to go get that new paint because I couldn't quite make it with the base colors that I had. The white, I've had bad experience with painting white in the past. I even left on, as you can see here on the back, there was some kind of shoulder stripes coming over. I thought it broke up the black super nicely and also gave some continuity to the white going over. I'm going to show you the swappable, what would you call them, modular hands here, as it's out of focus. I'm just trying to keep your guys' attention so you'll have a look at how these came out. So happy with these, so happy. Exactly what I wanted them to look like. Very organic. Of course, he is made of diamonds, so he's not that kind of flesh material that I typically associate with an organic being. With that diamond is just, it looks perfect, and I think that shattered biros is an idea that you guys could use. Shattered plastic of any kind, added the same thing onto this kind of sword hand too. I'm looking forward to getting some posing pictures and maybe posting them on Instagram. Again, just showing you the back here, how I split it up. I used a bunch of reference images and a bunch of shots from the show, but I kind of went with my gut on where to cut the white and the black. The Omnitrix is from a Crafty Gecko kit that I ordered on Etsy. Here is the Ben and the forearms as a comparison. Looking forward to having more in future videos to kind of show you guys the sizes and the styles. But here he is. Super happy with my first video on YouTube, and let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you guys want to see more of, what aliens you're looking forward to. Upgrade is next, and that video will be out soon, but let me know who else you're looking forward to. I am going to be going in somewhat of a chronological order. Let me know. Please comment and subscribe, whatever else you're supposed to do on YouTube.